Goldylocks Productions provides professional internet, TV, and radio shows in the spiritual and New Age genre.
Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Anthony Rodriguez here, Walking Crow for the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine, coming to you live from sunny Santa Barbara, California. Oishino, oishino, oishino. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for a Tuesday and choosing something different for the rest of your life, creating something different for the rest of your life, creating or choosing to create something that's different from yesterday, today on the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. Aho, shino, wanahonata. Aho. But before we get started, I'm going to sing in spirit and ask all my relations to join me for the show. And I would ask that you just bear with me today. I'm going to use a rattle because I have my drum, but I'm in somebody else's studio space today, so I'm going to use a rattle. Okay, here we go. Hey, 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 na na, hey, na na, 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 Oishino. All right, so I'm going to take the sage. I already have the sage burning, and we're going to smudge and clear all the computers and all the phone lines, that I would be a clear channel of a clear and healthy message for everybody who is listening and everybody who is not listening. That I would be clear from the head to my toes, and my voice and all that comes out of my mouth. Aho, palabra, word, palabra. Aho. I'm speaking from my truth, and the truth is the only thing I know how to speak. Aho. Aho. So glad to see everybody coming aboard. It's another Tuesday edition of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. I hope everybody's doing well. And before we get started on the show, I'd like to go through my calendar. Last week, Saturday, we had a Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine drum making journey with medicine woman Sochi Ashe, and we had 9 people come to the journey, and it was amazing. Everybody walked away with a beautiful drum. We did ceremony in the morning. We put the hides to soak, and we went off into our day. Came back in the evening before sunset, and created and birthed grandmother drum. Aho. Drum medicine, earth medicine, made from grandmother trees, made from the animals, the elk that gave of themselves for those drums. Aho, shinawana, honata. And we honor them. We honor them. But saying that, every Tuesday on right here at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time, the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine with myself, Walking Crow. You can find us every Tuesday here without a doubt. Unless I get ill or something, who knows, or there's a holiday. And on Wednesday, tomorrow, I will be drumming live from Los Angeles. I'll be back in LA for a few days, and then I'll be back to Santa Barbara, and then back to Sedona. So there's a lot going on. I'm traveling a lot right now. And I will be in LA for a sound vibration magic drum bath journey, where you can journey with me by putting on earbuds, and you could find a place to lay down, and you can listen to the drumming, and you can go off and journey to wherever it is you need to go, to the lower world, the middle world, the upper world. You can meet your spirit guides, meet your spirit animals. You can get a healing. Go to the place of the fire. Aho, say, aho. And then on August 25th, Angela Rose Hart and I are going to be in Sedona, and we're going to be setting intentions, and we are going to be cutting cords, and it's going to be an all-day event at the gathering place. Actually, it's gathering place where I live, and it's $200 for the day. It's complete full-day retreat, and we would love to have you come out and join us. And we would like to help you move forward, cutting those cords and setting those intentions and doing fire ceremony on the land for you to let go of those things so you can empty your cup, so you can refill your cup with things that you want. Remember, it's Tuesday. Choose what it is that you want in your life. Aho. Aho. And also, September 15th and 16th, I will be in Carlsbad, California for a transformational sacred drum medicine drum making journey with the Paez family. They're hosting me in their home, and we're going to be making earth medicine again over a 2-day period. We're going to start on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and we're going to end by 5. And at the end of that ceremony, we'll have set the intentions for the frame. We'll have set the intentions for the hide, put the hide to soak. We come back in the morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we start the ceremony all over again. And we start to assemble. And we take the drums. We take the hides out of the water with the umbilical cord and the sacred vapor, the sacred water, the sacred sac that is symbolic in that red bucket where those hides are. And then we start to make that medicine, make those drums. And by 1 o'clock, you will have a beautiful drum that's ready to dry. And in a couple of days, you'll be able to play that drum in a good way and use it for the medicine that you need. Aho. So for right now, that's my calendar. Look for more stuff in Santa Barbara because I will be doing more events in Santa Barbara. I will also be doing more events in Sedona. Look for a drum making journey in Sedona for the beginning of October. Okay, aho. And then what else is there? And then you will soon find me, or you will be able to get a healing from me or work with me in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I have that's in the works right now. So I will be going between, Los Angeles, Sedona, Santa Barbara, and Santa Fe. But Sedona will be my home base. That is going to be where I live. Aho. Aho. So, thank you for following me. Thank you for honoring me. I am honored that you are here. And today we're going to be talking about mourning and not good mourning, not, mourning as in, it's daytime and let's wake up. No, I'm talking about mourning, about being with your sadness, about being with your hurts, about being with your wounds. I'm talking about, are you able to cry? Do you take the time to cry, or do you know how to cry? Or do you spend a lot of time in the thinking of the crying and not the actual feeling of crying and the doing of crying and mourning for a lost partner, a lost parent, a lost relative, somebody who has crossed over to the other side and you don't know how to mourn them? Aho. And I know about this because my father passed 27 years ago on September 6th. And, it was 5 years before I actually cried for that man. I was living in the state of Tennessee. I was married to a person. And one day I was talking to the neighbor and he said something to me. And one of the words that he said to me was daddy. I heard him say the word daddy. And I walked away from that conversation. I closed my front door and I broke down for the next 4 or 5 hours. My then wife came home and found me balled up on the floor. And, it took me 5 years to get to that point because I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to deal. I didn't know how to mourn. And I didn't even know if I wanted to mourn. I didn't know why I would. And if you know my history and my story with my parents and my father and all of that, you would understand. But that's water under the bridge. We've mended many bridges. We've mended many hearts since then. And those are things I talk about and teach with as examples of how to get to the other side of something, of how to get from point A to point B. And are you ready to make decisions to allow yourself and help yourself to get from point A to point B? And if you are, say yes. Let me know in the messages. I hope. So anyways, also, we just want to remind you that 323-870-3791 is the call-in number. Call in and ask a question. Call in and get a healing. Call in and allow me to read the subtle energy body while you're on the phone with me. Call in and, tell me where you're at and what it is that we can do for you and how we can help you. How can I help you? I help many people, and I'm very fortunate that I've been able to help myself in the way that I help myself. And I'm willing and ready to help you. Are you willing and ready to help yourself? Are you willing and ready to say yes to yourself? Aho. Aho. Or do you say yes to your subconscious, but never become conscious? Aho. Aho. Ask yourself that question. Are you ready to cry? Are you ready to die? And I talk about dying. I'm not saying really die a death, but I'm talking about dying an emotional death, dying a spiritual death. The oak tree, and I talk about this all the time, the oak tree drops the acorn. The acorn cannot grow into the mighty oak as the oak tree cannot, the acorn cannot grow into the mighty oak from a green acorn. That acorn in and of itself has to die. Are you ready to die? The Christ consciousness had to die to become the ascended master. He died in 3 days. The story is 3 days later, he ascended. He ascended and returned to those, to show himself to those who loved him dearly. And people still revere him today. In fact, I was at a talk the other day about the Yogananda, and Yogananda revered Jesus Christ. Yogananda wrote volumes about the Christ Jesus. And I think there's a book that he wrote, which is, I was told, 1,200 pages, that's called The Second Return of Christ. So find out for yourself. Is it true? Is it not true? And these are just Yogananda's beliefs. They're not necessarily truth. It's what he believed to be true. So do you believe it to be true? Do you believe you to be true to your word, palabra? Are you ready to be in the truth of what you speak? Because many speak, but they speak with forked tongue. They speak out of the side of their mouth. They don't truly speak the truth. They speak double talk. They give double talk. And there's no reason to give double talk if you're in your truth, if you're really, really in your soul and wanting to come to a place that's different from where you have been. So I want to see who's here. And pardon me if I did take a look, but, I can't tell. I see Sarah and Grafia there. Sarah's there. And welcome, Sarah. Thanks for coming aboard. And, thank you for supporting the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. If you want to get a hold of me for a reading, if you want to get a hold of me for a healing, for a drum making journey, or if you want to schedule an event in your town or at your home or wherever, whichever group you belong to, you can reach me at Anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com, or you can go to my website at www.sacreddrummedicine.com, or you can give me a call at my office at area code 818-442-1717. And again, I want to remind you that the call-in number is 323-870-3791. The view behind me is beautiful. Yes, it is. The flowers. My new, I have my beloved, my partner. Her mom has a green thumb, and I'm here in their yard in Santa Barbara. And this is an amazing yard. There's kale growing over there, and there's daisies, and there's orchids, and there's different kinds of, there's lavender, and there's fig trees growing here, and there's other kinds of trees. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful garden. And where else would I be? This morning I was on a beautiful estate in San Ynez in a vineyard, and I got to sing a Shumash song. I got to honor the people of that land. Not honor the vineyard owners. No, I honored the people of the land, the people that were there before those vines were planted, before that chateau was placed there. What an amazing place I was given so I could go and honor the Shumash people. There's no better thing for me to do than do that honoring. The first time I went to Sedona, I went to find a canyon, and so I could sing and honor the ancestors. But at the time, this was over a year ago, the only song I knew was a Shumash song. And the Shumash are the native people of the central coastal region of California. And they live up in the San Ynez Valley. Here in Santa Barbara, I'm in the Mesa. just on the cliffs above the ocean. And, this is where they lived. This is where they fished. This is where they hunted. This is where they gathered fruits and berries and nuts and all the things that they eat, grains and different things, So I'm blessed to be here. I was able to chat with my beloved's father. I'm not going to give you her name because it's none of anybody's business what her name is. So, some things I want to keep private, and that's one of them. So, don't want to burst anybody's bubble, but that's just the way it's going to be. And I need to move this camera a little bit because the shade's moving, and that means I have to. So, morning. I had a client the other day who, she's been stuck. And as soon as I saw her, she was stuck in the fifth chakra. She was holding energies in the jaw. And what was happening was she wasn't able to talk about the things that were happening with her, or she wasn't able to talk to somebody close to her to let them know what was going on with her. She was blocked, and she's been blocked because she lost her mother. She had her mother's house burned down. She lost her house not far from here. She had to live through the stress of the Santa Barbara fires. She had to live through the stress of the Santa Barbara floods that just happened this last winter. It was a devastating time in this area, and a lot of people suffered greatly. Now, they may not have lost their home, but the stress, the incredible amount of stress and anxiety that's put on the subtle energy body and the soul and the spirit and the physical body, it's immense and it's amazing. And so she went through all these things. Then her husband got sick. Then she had a surgery. Then she had another surgery. And then she had many surgeries. And one of the things I asked her was, when were you able to mourn for those things that you lost? And what happened was she started to cry. She understood the question. She knew that she hadn't been able to mourn her mother. She knew that she wasn't able to mourn the burning down of her mother's house, the losing of her own home, the losing of homes by her friends and community and family in the Santa Barbara area through the fires and the floods. How devastating is that? And how long can you carry that around and not address it? And she had to address it, And I reminded her that she's going to have to spend time with that. And she's going to have to write those things down and let those things go, because they're not hers to carry around. You know how I am. I always say that. These are not ours to carry around. They're other people's burdens, but we take them on because simply we care. We care about others. We care about ourselves. We care about our family, So, what are you willing to mourn? And do you, will you, could you, should you mourn? I already told you that it took me 5 years to mourn for my father. Now, that was a one-time occurrence because guess what I've learned to do? I've learned to be with those things and be in a painful way with them and mourn those things. It's not easy. Part of being in your consciousness is learning how to be with things that happen that you just absolutely don't have any control over. I had no control over my father living with cancer. I had no control over what happened to my sisters as they were growing up. I had no control over the way that I was going to be treated in school that put me in a position with self-loathing and self-hate and all of that stuff that I lived with for a lifetime. I had no control over that, but I have control now. I have come into the power and who and what I have always been. I mourn that little boy that was left behind for so long and now is here integrated with this man Walking Crow, with this man Anthony Rodriguez. Call me whatever you would, call me whatever you will. But I had to integrate that little boy with this man, with this young man. Was that easy? No. But I believe if I wouldn't have done that, I probably would have put a gun in my mouth. I probably would have put a needle in my arm. I probably would have found some way to take myself out of the pain that didn't have anything to do with healing. Because there's no healing at the end of a barrel of a gun. There's no healing at the end of a needle. There's no healing at, jumping off a bridge. There's no healing in any of those things. But there's healing in being the tree that's grounded, well-grounded, the tree that's rooted and fruited, the tree that can stand that's so deep in its foundation, that's so deep in its root, that it stands through the power of the four winds. And what are your four winds? Here I go again. I am always talking about this. I had a young man named Sean that I was talking to on today in this session, and he was. We were talking about the fact that I cry when I cry, and I could be on video, I could be on the air, but I'm with my emotion. I let my emotion happen. I don't stop my emotion from happening. You know why? Because if I stop my emotion from happening, one of these days I just might put that bullet in my mouth, that gun in my mouth. I don't want to do that. Life is too precious. I have too many things going on. My client base is growing. I'm in Sedona. I'm in Santa Fe. I'm in Santa Barbara. I'm in Los Angeles. And you know what? The love of my life walked into my life, and I'm willing to walk with it. Can you say that? Will you say that? I know that Sarah and Grafa there, her and Anthony have a lovely marriage, and they have a beautiful little boy. And is it easy, Sarah? I know it's not. But you know what? I bet you have more good days than bad. I hope. And I know that you've been doing a lot of hard work, a lot of writing, a lot of fire ceremony. And yeah, you've had to grieve some things, but it's only going to help you. And I know it is because I've watched you grow. I hope I've watched you grow. And how many of you will be able to take paper to pen and write about those things that happened to you in your life? How many of you will? And how many of you won't? Because for those that won't, I feel bad for you, because those are some big burdens to carry. Those are some big shoes to fill. And why would you fill shoes and carry burdens that have nothing to do with you? Nothing to do with you. I'm telling you. So today, I'm grateful. I was at a beautiful chateau. I got to talk to Sean, my client Sean, and we had a great conversation for a half-hour session. Maybe brought him into a different place, supporting him, allowing him to cry without having to shame him or make him feel bad about what he's feeling. That's what I get to mirror today. I get to mirror love. I get to mirror hope. I am what love looks like. I am where hope lives. I am where love lives, and I am what hope looks like. I don't know why I get that backwards. Maybe because I'm busy paying attention to the hummingbirds that fly through here, and the buzzme, and the crows that are here, and the sparrows, and the blue jays, and all the beautiful birds, and the flora and the fauna back here in this backyard. It's amazing back here. I am truly blessed. And I'm truly blessed because I get to mourn the things that I didn't get to enjoy, that I didn't get to have, the things that I didn't get to do, the places I didn't get to go, and the people I didn't get to meet. Someday, one day, I will. And I'm hopeful, because I am what hope looks like. Are you what hope looks like? Are you where love lives? Do you want to be? Do you not know how to love yourself, or do you not know how to say I love you to the people around you? Do you not know how to give love, share love, be love? Learn to mourn for yourself. Learn to mourn for the little girl. Learn to mourn for the little boy that was left behind. Learn to mourn for the parents that maybe didn't do a great job parenting because they didn't know how. Why would they? How could they? I believe that parents become parents and learn how to parent by accident, by default, because they're in the game. They're doing as doing as being done. I'll say it that way. And as much as there are books that have been written on parenting and helping kids grow up, those people who write those books don't live in your house. They don't live in my house. So it's a whole different culture shock when Mr. Smith is writing the book as opposed to Mr. Garcia. And what does that whole household look like, and what does it feel like? So I want to honor you. I would like you to honor you by taking the time and being still. We're getting your grandmother's name. Wow. Where did that come from? I just had a complete blank moment. Thank you. I owe a lot to you and Tiffany for the tools to help. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Yes, Sarah, it's worth it. And I don't know what just came out of my mouth. I just I just ascended. And that was odd that I caught myself doing that. I usually do that in my sleep. I usually do that other times, never doing while I'm doing my show. Wow. Maybe Tiffany can tell me something about that and enlighten me about stuff like that when it happens, because it's a little interesting. It's a little bizarre that happened right now. Something about my grandmother, and I don't understand where that came from. Anyways, but and if that's the case, if I spoke to my grandmother and of my grandmother, that probably means that she's here and she's present. She came into this show. She came into the circle with spirit when I sang spirit in earlier. Aho, aho. And there was a woman that I didn't want to grieve. I didn't like her. And she knows that. I'm not saying anything that's different. I didn't want to grieve my grandmother. I didn't know how to grieve her because I didn't like her. And I believe that she didn't like me. But, I got to make peace with that woman because that woman cared for me as a child. That woman cared for me as a teenager. Excuse me. That woman cared for me as a young adult and loved me until she was not able to, till her term was complete on this earth. And I believe I was blessed, even though there was a lot of things about her I didn't like. I believe that I was blessed, So I'm going to back this chair up because the sun, I'm being enveloped by shade, and you people want to be able to see me. So it's a radio show, it's a television show, and you want to be able to see me. So I want to remind you that the call-in number is 323-870-3791. Aho. You know what's funny? There's been a lot going on lately, and I'm very pleased with the direction that my life is going in. I'm in Sedona. I'm in a sacred space. I live within the energies of those vortices, the vortexes and vortices, and the spirits of the peoples that lived there at one time. And I'm watched over and I'm blessed. So sometimes I'll get caught up in all of that. I'm not able to what? Well, there's some things I don't want to do anymore. There's some things I don't want to care about anymore. There's some things that I just want to spend time being with. And those things are those things. The red rocks of Sedona. I want to be with the red rocks of Sedona. I want to be with my ancestors, all my relations in that place. I hope. And I'm saying that because this week I don't have a lot to say. Sorry, Tiffany. I just don't have a lot to say today. And, I wanted to talk about mourning, but you understand what mourning is. You're going to understand it when you get to it, if you get to it. If you get to it. And my hope for you is that you get to that mourning. The understanding of mourning of the broken heart. The understanding of the mourning of the broken soul. The understanding of the mourning of the broken spirit. Not just for the sake of understanding, but for the sake of growing beyond what was, what happened, and what didn't happen. Were you protected? Were you cared for by others that well-meaning people that were supposed to be taking care of you? Do you feel like they failed you? Do you feel like you failed them? Do you feel like there was a failure or breakdown at some point that doesn't allow you to be your true self with these people at this restaurant? Where it is you're standing in line, at the post office, at the grocery store, whatever it is. What has been holding you back? And are you held back? Are you broken hearted? Do you have a broken spirit? Life is tough enough, And there's a lot of those. There's a lot of people out there that in the healing world that live up in the woo-woo of life, and you can't. Life will not support you just living up in here. It can for a little while, but not very long. At some point, you're going to have to come into your feet. At some point, you're going to have to come into your body. At some feet, you're going to have to come into your soul. You're going to have to come into your earth, your ground, your root chakra. Aho. In the four elements, you're going to have to come into your water, your second chakra of emotion, ocean. You're going to have to come into that emotion. You're going to have to come into the fire, the fuego. I can, I will, I do. The I am that you are, that you have always been. I sing your praises. I sing my praises. I am the I am that I have always been. Aho, and always will be. Aho. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to breathe air and breathe life into your lungs, through your lungs, past your lungs, into the place of the fire, to stoke the fire, because fire needs oxygen? Are you ready to create steam or esteem in your body through the breath into the fire, and the breath into the second chakra of water, emotion? Are you ready to breathe for and to that place? Aho, shin, aho. I believe that my audience, is always ready, and they are always willing to take that burden on, whatever that burden looks like. And you know what? And why am I calling it a burden? It just may not be a burden. It just may be the way things are. You know, it just may be that. So, sorry, but I'm trying to see the screen because it's hard to see, and I'm distracted today doing this show because I'm in a different place. I'm not in my usual spot in Los Angeles or Sedona. And even in Sedona, I've been trying to find a place to do my radio show and get the lighting right so I don't have shadows everywhere like I do right now. But that's life. And, got to deal with that. Right, Tiffany White, Sage Woman? And yeah, so there's that. I apologize for not having a lot to say today, but I'm in a very safe and sacred space. I am, I'm trying to see the screen, Tiffany. I can't see what you're saying to me. Sorry. Yes, Tiffany. Thank you. LOL. You know, so let me ask you something. I talked about mourning, and I talked about crying, allowing yourself to cry. But there's another side of that, and it's the giving of the gifts, the giving of energies to oneself, of allowing oneself to have a good time, allowing oneself to enjoy the things around you, around me, around them. Like that place, that chateau that we were at overnight, up in Santa Ynez. It's an amazing place. And I sat there and I thought, oh yeah, I deserve to be here. Because a lot of us will go to a place like that and we'll say, oh man, I could never. But you know what? I can, I will, and I do. And there's proof in the pudding of that, because I went to Sedona. Sedona is one of the most beautiful and amazing places in the world. And guess what? I live there. I went there. And I'm going to be there waiting for you to show up to come be with me while I'm there. Oh, will you come see me? Will you come get a healing in Sedona? Will you come to one of my events? What are you willing to do for yourself that's different? Oh. And by the way, I want to welcome my friend Cindy Weaver back. I don't know if she's watching today, but she came back online during the week. And Cindy, if I didn't call you back, I apologize. 2 days ago, I've been really busy here in Santa Barbara, and I'll probably call you when I get back to Los Angeles tomorrow or Thursday. Okay, so don't worry, don't fret. I'll be there for you, and I'll be there with you. I hope. Thank you for hanging in there with me and being a part of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine, the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show, and the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine family. And that's what's most important. This last year, since November, December, I've doubled the numbers in social media for myself, and not that it's important as regard to popularity, but what is important is more and more people are hearing the message that I share. More and more people are hearing my voice when I speak, because I'm carrying a message, I'm carrying medicine. And I was put on this earth to do exactly what it is I'm doing. Exactly what it is that I'm doing. And right now, I think I'm boring myself because I'm falling asleep. No, I'm not. I'm doing exactly what I love to do. I'm an energy healer. I'm a shamanic practitioner. I'm a drum maker. I take people on journey. I do all these things. I'm a mentor and a coach, and there's a lot of reasons not to do these things. But guess what? There's more reason to do these things because people need help. People want help. People are asking for help. People reach out to me every day in messages that you can't see, but I see them and I hear them. They cry out and they say, Anthony, help me. Anthony, help us. Oh, Anthony, help us. Anyways, I didn't think this sun was going to affect me today, but it's affecting me. And I don't know how much longer I can do this show. And I have to say that to Tiffany because it's just, I feel like I'm just dragging my feet and I don't want to carry a message that isn't a good message. And that's where I feel I'm at right now, And if you need help, if you feel you need help and you want help and you're sincere about that help, give me a call at area code 818-442-1717. Reach out to me at my email address at anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com or go to my website at www.sacreddrummedicine.com and check out what I do. Check out the reviews. Check out what I have to offer, how I can help you, what I can do for you, because I'd like to help you in any way that I can. And, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to sign off from the show today because I feel like I'm not present with what I want to talk about. And maybe it's just that because I'm enjoying all this beautiful greenery around me. I don't know. But I want to apologize to you if, you came to listen to a great message and I just don't have the words today. And maybe it's because I'm feeling in my body. I'm in my body and I'm allowing what's happening in my life to course through my veins, to course through my energetic field, to course through my energetic body. I'm going to ask you to take time to heal yourself. I'm going to ask you to take time to feel the feelings of what you have not been able to feel for a lifetime. Stop thinking about the feelings and start feeling the feelings in your body. Allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to cry. Be sad for those who move on and cross over. Be sad for those who, break up with you or divorce you or whatever the case may be. Be sad for yourself. Be sad for them. Mourn them. Be with them. But do something more than just think about it, because it's in the thinking and the escaping that we start to manifest dis-ease in our body. And who wants dis-ease in the body? Shouldn't want to say. So I'm going to say good afternoon, and I'm going to thank everybody for coming to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. I don't think I've ever done a show that's less than an hour, and I apologize. I look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I will be in my, where will I be? I will be in Sedona, and I will be in my normal spot. Anyways, and actually I'll be in a new spot because I'm moving my studio to a new place, and my place where I'm going to live into a new place. So I want to thank you for coming. Feel free to reach out to me at anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com. You can call me at area code 818-442-1717. Reach out to me at www.sacreddrummedicine.com. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, and I am Walking Crow. And this is a Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. Signing off for a Tuesday edition, and asking you in signing off to choose something that you would like for yourself. Choose something different. Choose something good for you. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. And thank you for coming. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show.